Welcome back into another rebuild I have for you guys here on Madden 20. Today it's going to be a fantasy style rebuild. I haven't done one of these in such a long time, but it's going to be of the Colts. The only rebuild I've done of the Colts so far this year has been realistic, so it's going to be interesting to finally get to them fantasy style. But before I really begin this video, if you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button, especially if you enjoy the video. Also, if you enjoy the video, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could hit that like button down below. And while you're down there, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, or check out my second channel, links to all three are in the description. It feels really strange starting at the beginning of the 2019 season. I'm so used to starting at the end of it in these realistic rebuilds, but let's start going over the team. Actually, before I really do that, let me just say that this is fantasy style. I haven't really talked about this in a while, but I will be making a lot of trades for some different players and some first round draft picks, because that's normally how I do realistic rebuilds. I normally prioritize draft picks because drafting is way more fun to me, but I'll pretty much just be trading based on like age and potential and stuff like that. Like Anthony Costanzo, I don't know if I'll trade him this year or not. He's not a bad player at all, but he's 31 years old. I think he's actually on a contract year. Maybe we do trade him, or maybe I'll bring him back and trade him at some other point. I don't know. But like a couple of these guys who are older, I'll probably try to get rid of just to get some first round draft picks, because those can always help and stuff like that. I'll probably trade for a couple players as well. But now let's start talking about the team. The quarterback here is Jacoby Brissett, and he's actually one of the best quarterbacks to have in Madden, which is so strange. I'll probably keep him for this first season, and even if he like wins MVP or something crazy, I kind of do want to replace him because I already have a full rebuild on my channel where Jacoby Brissett is the quarterback the entire time. At running back though, we do have Marlon Mack, who should be a fine starter for us this entire time. He's 23 years old, 84 overall. He's a good running back. I'm comfortable with him being the starter. We also have Nyheim Hines as the backup, and he can probably be a pretty good kick returner for us this entire time. I'll try to bring him back if I'm able to. At receiver, we do have an X factor in T.Y. Hilton. I'm pretty sure this is different from the last rebuild I had of the Colts. That was so long ago. I'm pretty sure he was a superstar at that point. But T.Y. Hilton is a really, really good receiver. He's definitely the best receiving option on this team. But hopefully he doesn't regress too badly considering he's 29 years old. I think we can probably get a good rebuild out of him. We'll have to see what happens. Devin Funchess is the number 2 receiver, and he's a 79, which isn't bad. And he's not too old, so we can probably keep him, but I don't know how well he's going to play. I don't really have much experience using him at all this year. Also, that's the name of the coach. It's based off of him. My girlfriend actually came up with that one because I was going over the players, trying to figure out what to name this coach, and she came up with Honey Funches of Oats, and I think it's pretty funny. But anyway, at the third receiver position, we have Zack Pascale, who I did not know had star development. I thought he actually still had normal. I don't even know when he did go up to star, but we can probably keep him on the team for this rebuild, probably the entire time. The offensive line of this team is really, really good. The worst player on the offensive line is Mark Lewinsky. He's a 74. He's not even all that bad, but we have Quentin Nelson, one of the best guards in the entire NFL, 94 overall. We have a really good center. We have a good right tackle. We have a good left tackle. Anthony Costanzo will regress very shortly, but still he's going to be good for at least a season or two. And then at tight end, we have a pretty good duo here, Eric Ebron, Jack Doyle. I think pretty good is a bit of an understatement. They're a very good duo. Mo Alley-Cox isn't even all that bad down there. The defense definitely takes a step back, at least in terms of overall, but we do still have some pretty cool players on this side of the ball. Darius Leonard is a stud, 85 overall star development. Did he have superstar at one point? I don't exactly remember. I feel like he did. He normally is like up to X Factor though at some point in simulation, so I'm looking forward to that. Malik Hooker is the starting free safety. He's also a beast, 82 overall star development. Hopefully he can go up in development for us here. The cornerbacks aren't phenomenal. They're not too bad though. I'd like to get some different cornerbacks, maybe through the draft, maybe through free agency. I don't exactly know. But we do have Eosin, who is a pretty good rookie. He's a 75 overall hidden development, so he at least has star. I want him starting probably at the 2. I think Kenny Moore can be the slot for us here. Let's get him up to an 80 overall and make him fit the scheme. Why not? He's also pretty young, so I think Kenny Moore can be a fine cornerback for us this entire time. Yeah, he's 24 years old. He's an 80 overall slot corner as well as an 80 overall zone corner. So I think he'd be good to play the nickel for us here. Pierre Desir will probably be traded, to be honest, because he's pretty old. He's not too bad. He's an 81, but I don't think that's worth it, keeping him on the team. Same thing with Jabal Sheard over here. Another player who's pretty good, but he's an 81 overall as well. I think I'm going to try to get rid of him because we do have Kamoko Toure. I didn't double check his name just to make sure. That's what I thought it was, but I feel like I always just say a different first name for some reason for him. But he's pretty young. He's 24, right? He's 24 years old. He is a speed rusher, so he could play in this 4-3 at left end if we need him to. I probably will put him over there at left end. Actually, he fits the scheme at right. So maybe I move Justin Houston then to left. I don't know exactly what's going to happen yet. At defensive tackle, we can definitely use an upgrade. I have a couple players in mind who I can pretty easily trade for. Linebacker could also use an upgrade, but linebackers are pretty difficult to trade for, at least middle linebackers. We do have Bobby Okereke, who I think can actually go off for us if we give him enough reps, which I will be doing. I can probably move Anthony Walker to right outside linebacker. I don't even mind having him start over there, I don't know if I will. Maybe I'll try to trade for a linebacker. I'll figure something out. But let's get into some trades here. Let's see how good we can make this team. It's been such a long time since I've cheesed the Dolphins for their first round draft pick. But here we have Jabal Sheard and Danico Autry going to the Dolphins for that pick. Jack Doyle, Pierre Desir, and one of our second-round draft picks will get me Matthew Ioannidis, who will be one of our defensive tackles. And I'd also like to mention how I think Jack Doyle is a pretty good player as well. I mean, he's an 83 overall. Definitely not bad. But we do have Eric Ebron on this team. There's not really a point in having two really solid tight ends in Madden. So I'm good to trade him. Sorry if you guys don't like that, but again, it's a fantasy-style rebuild. This is not supposed to be realistic at all. Joe Haig, Marcus Hunt, and Clayton Geathers are going to the Cardinals in exchange for their first-rounder. The final trade here is going to be with the Broncos. I'm giving them Jordan Wilkins, Chester Rogers, and Trayvon Coley for their first-rounder. This will be the team for the first season. It's an 83 overall, 87 offense, 79 defense. Nothing really changed all that much, at least in the overall department there. Really nothing changed on offense either, like we didn't really add anybody different, but we did trade away a couple backups and stuff like that. And then defensively, we did add a new player in Matthew Ioannidis to start defensive tackle number 1 for us. I think he should be fine in that role. We also lost a few other starters on this side of the ball too, but I do think the team is okay. I think it got better in the long term just because we were able to add a couple draft picks. But now let's begin simulating. I'll let you know what the record is at the midseason. We got a weekly award winner in week 8. That's pretty cool, I guess, but the record is 4-3. Which is a lot better than I thought it would be, because we were 0-3 at week 3. That's interesting. But 6-2 for the Jags, 5-3 for the Texans, 4-4 for the Titans. So we definitely still have a shot at making the playoffs. Hopefully we can this first season. I don't really think there's all that much to reveal here for the team. I mean, the team has been progressing throughout the season. I have auto progression on, so that's why the team overall might look a little bit different. I don't think the team overall looks much different. The defense is up to an 80, though. That is definitely different. But a few of these players on offense and defense, you know, their overalls look slightly different from before. But Eosin has star development, if you guys did not already know that somehow. But who do we have to bring back to the team? Eric Ebron is the top player. I kind of want to see how he played first before I negotiate with him. Honestly, though, he's a good tight end. I probably should bring him back. Anthony Costanzo is a guy I think I'm going to wait on. Devin Funchess is certainly a guy I'm going to wait on, because if he didn't have a good season, we can replace him pretty easily. Zack Pascale, I should probably wait on as well. He's actually not too bad. I don't know. This is a weird situation for a lot of these players. I think I will wait on a lot of them, though. But Eric Ebron, I think I will give a contract to. We have a ton of money as well. Let's up this a little bit, see if he wants that contract. He does. Okay, so he's coming back to the team. Everybody else, I'm going to consider later. The team did not make the playoffs this year. That's actually rather disappointing. We finished 8-8. Every other team was 10-6. At one point, we were 8-5. That is so frustrating. But how did the team play? Jacoby Brissett had 4,917 yards with 36 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. What a weird season. He is one of the weirdest players in all of Madden. I don't understand why he throws for so many yards every season. Rushing wise, Marlon Mack was awful. Maybe we have to go ahead and get a different running back? I don't understand why Marlon Mack is not running well. He's not bad in the game, and we have a good offensive line. Makes no sense. T.Y. Hilton had a really good season, though. Devin Funchess had a really good year, too. Eric Ebron almost had 1,000 yards as well. Zack Pascale had 8 touchdowns. Okay, but T.Y. Hilton went absolutely off. 107 catches, 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns. The offensive line played well. At least they pass blocked well. Maybe they're not run blocking too well. I don't understand that one. 104 tackles for Darius Leonard leads the team. We have 21 tackles for loss for Justin Houston. 18 for Teray is actually really good as well. 8 sacks for Justin Houston leads the team. 3 picks for Bobby Okereke with 99 tackles. Maybe that's enough for Defensive Rookie of the Year. 2 for Eosin and Malik Hooker and Quincy Wilson. 1 for Darius Leonard, Anthony Walker, and Kari Willis. We have no touchdowns or safeties, but we do have a blocked kick. How many forced fumbles? We have 2. And only 1 was recovered. Okay, so we were second in the NFL in offense. That's almost all because of Jacoby Brissett. Defensively, we were 5th, and we finished 8-8. What are you talking about? Aaron Rodgers, though, wins MVP. Jacoby Brissett at number 4. That's just because of how many yards he threw for. Offensive Player of the Year for the AFC is Ryan Tannehill. Jacoby Brissett, though, at number 2. Defensive Player of the Year is Devin Bush. That's annoying, because he's going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year then. Nobody from the Colts on that list. Offensive Rookie of the Year, though, goes to Josh Jacobs. Jay Ajayi, though, my favorite rookie, at number 2. I don't know why the game doesn't fix that kind of stuff. Michael Crabtree is also down there. Alright, but Defensive Rookie of the Year does go to Devin Bush. Bobby Okereke at number 2. The Seahawks and the Patriots are in the Super Bowl here. Of course, a rematch of a previous Super Bowl. Let's see who's going to win it this time, though. Will it be the Patriots again? It will, 34-31. But now let's consider these contracts again. Okay, so we have Anthony Costanzo, who's only down to an 83 and is only looking for a 1-year deal. I will definitely take that. Let's bring that up a little bit because he'd probably reject otherwise. He is still going to reject. I don't want to tag him. I feel like I can get him in free agency for cheaper than that. I'm going to try my best to go after him if we can. Devin Funchess did not go up in development. He had a really good season. I don't know if I want to bring him back, though. I honestly might wait until free agency to see who's here, or maybe even the draft. If we can draft a rookie, I'm sure even if the rookie's like a 73, he'd be a higher overall than Devin Funchess after this next season anyway. If he has that kind of season, at least. Zack Pascale is another guy I don't know if I want to bring back to the team. He's not super expensive, though. I'll offer him this. If he wants it, cool. He actually does want it. He's coming back to the team. I'm fine with him as our number 3 receiver, like this entire time. Let me advance by now. I don't really want Devin Funchess all that much. Even though he is in the coach's name, maybe we should bring him back then just because of that. But we have $49.72 million, and Chris Jones is the top free agent. Do we go after a guy like Chris Jones? I might, honestly. Him and Matthew Itis together would be a really, really solid defensive tackle duo. Joe Thuney could be a guy I go after as well, because he could play right guard for us probably. Let me try to get this contract going. I'm going to make my offensive line as good as possible. Maybe then our running back will play better. I don't know if it'll be Marlon Mack for this next season, because he really disappointed. I like Marlon Mack a lot, though. Like, I think he's a good player. I don't really want to get rid of him, but I might have to. Yeah, Devin Funchess is getting a good bit of offers. I think I'm just going to go elsewhere. There's a pretty cool-looking receiver in the draft who won the Heisman. I may try to target him. I went after 3 different players, but I didn't really, like, fully commit to any of them. But let's see if we got him. So we got Chris Jones. We did not get Joe Thuney, but we did get Anthony Costanzo. I'm fine with that, honestly. I'm definitely okay with that. But let me go over development trade upgrades. I didn't even talk about this. So Jacoby Brissett is up to star development. I think that is it on the offense. And I saw at least one player to go up on defense, and it was Teray. He is up to star now. I was going to draft a new edge, but honestly, like, I might just keep him. He seems okay. I might give him another season. He actually had a pretty good one last year. None of the corners went up in development or anything like that. That's fine. I'm definitely looking to draft a corner, maybe a safety as well. We'll have to see. But let me continue scouting, and I'll see you guys in the draft. Okay, so this draft class looks incredible. And we have the first overall pick, and I think 3 others in the first round. We have the 6th, the 7th, and then the 17th. So I don't know if I'm going to take this first pick. Let me see who is offering to trade up, because maybe we can accept the trade up here. Let's see. So the Buccaneers are offering, and so are the Bills. If I did trade this pick away, I'd want it to be with the Jets. Okay, so who do I think the Jets would take? Let me just check out the draft board real quick. So Bradley English is like the top player on my board. This guy looks insane. His talent is early first round. He's supposed to go early first round. Then there's also Marcus Shay, who looks equally as insane. Early first round talent, early first round projection, 7.4 combine grade. And then there's this receiver, Bruce Monroe, 4.37 speed, being 6'3". That's stupid. Early first round talent, early first round projection. That's not even the dude who won the Heisman. Calvin Daniel won the Heisman. He's very slow, but he's 6'5". He'd be a good replacement for Devin Funchess if you just look at the size and stuff like that. This draft class looks really, really stacked. But I want Bradley English first. I don't think the Jets would go middle linebacker. I really doubt they would. They might actually go receiver. Their top need is actually left tackle, so they'll probably take that left tackle on the top of the board. Yeah, they don't have a left tackle on their team. I'm going to try to trade down with them, get their first, their second, and their first next year. If this doesn't work, I'll try their first and second next year instead of their first next year and the second this year. Let's see if this works, though. That's very close to working. Maybe I can throw in like a random other draft pick for this. I throw in like a 5th rounder. Maybe they'll accept this. They still did not accept that, but maybe try like a 4th next year too. I'll totally still take this. They still declined it. Okay. They declined that, but that is so close. Let me try a 6th the next year for this. That's accepted. Okay, so a 1st this year, a 6th next year for their 1st this year, and then their 1st and 2nd next year. I'm good with that. They should probably take this left tackle, who does look good, but I don't really need a left tackle right now at least. They do go with him. Russell McBride, a 77 overall. And I think here then, I should go with this middle linebacker. I may actually have to trade up to take Marcus Shay. I'm okay with doing that, but I'm going to go with Bradley English first because I think he does look a little bit better. He's a 78 with hidden, and he is ranked 3rd in the entire draft. So he's 6'3", 21 years old is awesome. 84 speed, 86 tackling, 82 hit power. Not the best zone coverage, but it's okay. This guy is going to ball out on this team. I can't wait to see what he progresses into. And I think I could probably get away with simulating this pick because the next player I want is a defensive end. I don't think the Vikings go D-end. Yeah, they still have Everson Griffin and Danielle Hunter. There's no chance they go D-end here. They might go receiver. That wouldn't make all that much sense either, actually. Let's see who they decide to go with. They go right outside linebacker. Steven Burton. Okay. I did not mean to sim that pick. That's okay, though. That's on me. I didn't really want that wide receiver all that much. I mean, I did want him, but I wasn't really planning on taking him. I do want a cornerback, though. I meant to look at the draft board, not send by the pick. That's my bad. I'm actually really glad they didn't go corner, because I really want this guy, too. Sean Sermons looks really, really talented. So I think I'm going to have to trade up here with the Redskins, because they'll probably go corner. You know, the Redskins may actually not take this corner, but I really don't want to take the risk on that. I'm still going to try my best to trade up, because, I don't know. I feel like they're going to take one. They almost always go corner whenever I do my realistic rebuilds. I'm going to get rid of Mark Lewinsky here just because he's pretty expensive. This should be accepted, and it was. Okay, so we're moving up to number 5. We also have pick number 6 and 7 because I didn't get rid of any of those picks. So that's actually pretty funny. But here we are going to take this cornerback, Sean Sermons. Welcome to the team, friend. He's a 79 with hidden. He's the best player in the entire draft. I'm excited to have this guy on the team. 93 speed, 92 acceleration, 87 agility, 80 man, 80 press, 70 zone. Very, very solid cornerback. Usually, though, these early first-round projection corners only have star. I hope that's not the case here. But I think now I'm going to go with this defensive end. I know I said I wasn't going to, but this guy looks way too good not to take. Marcus Shay, welcome to the team. He's a 79 as well, so he's tied with that cornerback. Oh my, this draft class is so good for us right now. Hidden development trait for him as well. Really good looking stats. I really hope he can just go off for us. So I know I said that I was going to try to take a quarterback. That was also kind of just banking on the fact that this would be a good quarterback class, and it's just not. Like, this guy might be okay, Bruce Gregory, but I don't really trust him all that much. I'd rather have Jacoby Brissett again. So I think here we're going to take receiver. This is going to be a reach, but I think he's the best receiver left. Let me just show you the rest of the class. There are a ton of like first round guys if you just look at the talent there, but there's also a lot of these guys who are, you know, red gems, so they don't look too good. This guy did win the Heisman though. His talent is late first round, so he's probably like a 71 or a 72. This is going to be a reach, but I think he's going to be worth it. He's a 71, but he has hidden development trait, okay? I kind of wish I had that other guy from before. The dude who was a 78. I will definitely check him out. I kind of forgot about him a little. I know I mentioned him, but I forgot that he was supposed to go early first round and all that good stuff. I was kind of just thinking about this guy the whole time. That's on me, for sure, but I do still think we did pretty well in that first round. We got a lot of guys near like a 78, 79 overall. I'm good with it. With this pick here, though, I'm going to go with a defensive tackle if he's still available. He is not still available, which is kind of frustrating, but I really don't need a defensive tackle, so it's not that big of a deal. Let me check out my draft board and see who's left. So Everett Snowden is the next guy. I'll take him now. Why not have a decent backup quarterback? He's a 67 with normal. Yeah, he's not really good at all. I think this next pick will be the last. I'm not going to really bother trading down all that much more. Let's just go with this defensive tackle, projected to go in the 5th, but his talent is late 3rd. This might still be a reach, but it's whatever. He's a 66 overall. He actually has hidden development trait, which is pretty funny. He's not going to play all that much, but at least we have a good depth defensive tackle. All right, here's a look at the draft. We got 3 players who are almost an 80. This was definitely one of my best drafts, depending on the development traits, of course. Then we got this receiver who, you know, some of you guys might think is a bit of a reach. I knew he was going to be a low 70. I said it before I drafted him, but he probably was the best receiver left. I didn't scout all that many receivers, but he's definitely not the best receiver in the class. There was like a 78 overall guy. It depends on his development trait as well. If this guy has X Factor and that 78 has star, I'd still rather have Calvin Daniel on the team, I think. But let's check out what the rest of the draft looked like. This draft looks so good, though. Yeah, there were 2 79s and a bunch of 78s, a bunch of 77s. This was a really, really good draft. Let's check out Bruce Monroe, though. This was definitely that receiver. He has 94 speed, 93 acceleration, 6'3" with 94 speed. Really good route running ability. Let's check out his development trait now. He just has star. Okay, so maybe if our guy has superstar or X Factor or something, we got the better receiver. It'll be tough to tell, though. Even if our guy has superstar or X Factor, it'll still be pretty close, honestly. But let's check out the rest of the class here. Let me see what that quarterback was all about. Also, who is this? A 5th round tight end who's a 77. Oh, he's a blocking tight end. That's why. His stats are so bad, but he's a 77 somehow. That's hilarious. Lamont Bradley was that defensive tackle I wanted, by the way. I think I pointed him out in the video, or at least mentioned the fact that I was going to take a defensive tackle. This guy has star development. Okay, so it's nothing crazy. Still a really good player. Let me check out that quarterback, though. I want to see what he's all about. This was the quarterback I would have landed if I had taken a quarterback. He's a 71 overall hidden development trait. He actually looks pretty decent. I think he's 6'5", right? Yeah, 6'5", 83 speed. Not too bad there. What is his development trait? He's a late first round quarterback. I think I mentioned this before. Maybe not. I actually don't think I mentioned it in the video before. But me and my man Kevin Pack have this theory that these late round quarterbacks have X Factor. Let's see if it's true. He only has star. Okay, so maybe it's not a sound theory, or hypothesis, I guess, at this point. But whatever. That would have been the best quarterback I could have went with. I doubt there were any other better ones. I could check, but I scouted most of the quarterbacks. He was definitely the best one. I don't even think it's worth checking. I need a new right guard, so I'm giving the Patriots Tyquan Lewis a 3rd this year and a 7th this year for Shaq Mason. This is the team heading into the 2nd season. It's an 86 overall, 88 offense, 85 defense. This team is really well-rounded. I just hope that Marlon Mack can play better than he did a year ago. I didn't try to get a different running back, but if he doesn't play well again, I will try to upgrade Marlon Mack for this next season. I'm also really hoping that Calvin Daniel can go off and hopefully have a good development trait. He will be massive on this team if he can have a good development trait. I hope he's a good replacement for Devin Funchess, who did play well a year ago. I think Daniel can do just fine, even though he's only a 71. T.Y. Hilton had a crazy season a year ago. I think he can build off of that again. The offensive line got better with the addition of Shaq Mason. This O-line is so good. So if Marlon Mack doesn't play well, I'm definitely going to get a different running back. Like, there's no reason why he shouldn't be playing well. Eric Ebron is still the tight end. And then defensively, we added a couple new players on this side of the ball. We have a new number 2 corner. I'm going to have him play instead of Eosin there. We have Shay, a new starting left end. English is a new starting middle linebacker. It's funny, when I was looking at the needs for this team, I didn't have a right guard before I traded for Shaq Mason. I just did not have one on the team because we traded Glowinski. But it still said that right guard was my 2nd need behind middle linebacker because for some reason, English is not good enough. Bobby Okereke is the backup here. I don't know what happened with that. I don't know why they think that's like the biggest need on this team when it definitely is not. But anyway, let's start simulating now. Of course, I'll let you know what the record is. What is the record looking like here at week 9? 3-4. So actually worse than last year at this point, which makes no sense. This team is so much better. But 3-4 as well for the Texans and the Titans. 4-3 for the Jaguars. The team's an 87 overall. Like, come on. How are we not winning? 88 offense, 87 defense. What's going on? But Daniel's development is not yet revealed, but he's very close. He should reveal it in the next couple weeks at least. Defensively, though, does anybody have a crazy development? We have 2 superstars. Our middle linebacker and our cornerback are both superstars. This defensive end, sadly, is only star. Not that big of a deal, though. I'm really looking forward, though, for this receiver. I hope he has X Factor, man. He won the Heisman, so maybe there's a chance. There's always a chance, but maybe it's a better chance that he won the Heisman. I feel like he at least has a better chance than normal of having, you know, more than star development. But anyway, T.Y. Hilton is a free agent. I think I want him back on the team, but not for 4 years. Don't know what I want to do with him just yet. Justin Houston is another interesting player. I think I'm going to wait on these 2 guys just to see what kind of seasons they have. Ryan Kelly, though, is a guy I know I want back for a while. Malik Hooker, same thing goes for him. Jacoby Brissett is a free agent. Oh, this is going to be an interesting season. But we should have a lot of money due to the fact that Jacoby Brissett is a free agent. Yeah, okay, $101 million. Let's bring back Malik Hooker for a couple more seasons. He's coming back. That's nice to see. And then Ryan Kelly, I want him for more than 2 years. Let's give him a 3-year contract. He's a really good center. Yeah, he's back on the team. That's fine. I'm not going to go 3 more seasons, but I think that's a pretty fair contract for him. Let me scout, and then I'll simulate to the end of the year. Okay, so at least we ended better this year than we did last year. We made the playoffs, going 10-6, winning the division, actually. 8-8 for the Titans, 7-9 for the Jags and the Texans down there. Jacoby Brissett, how'd you do again? Like, it's so hard to replace him because I just can't do it. Like, I know I said I was going to try to draft a quarterback. Maybe if I can see a quarterback who just looks unreal, maybe then I'll replace him. But, like, come on. He's nearly going to be MVP again. 4,574 yards, 37 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. I don't get why he plays so well. I'll never understand it. He's not necessarily that bad of a quarterback in real life, right? But he's not that good. Like, come on. Marlon Mack had a better season, but still wasn't that good. He had a ton of touchdowns. But, like, how are you not averaging that many yards per carry? With this offensive line, it makes no sense, man. Receiving-wise, T.Y. Hilton was insane. 103 catches, 1,600 yards, 13 touchdowns. I think he definitely deserves a contract. Eric Ebron was really solid once again. 9 touchdowns, 911 yards. Calvin Daniel, over 900 yards, 6 touchdowns for him. That's a good rookie season to have. Anthony Costanzo didn't block too well, but like the rest of the offensive line is doing really well. Based on our rushing stats, it doesn't seem like they ran block too well. I think I have to blame Marlon Mack for that one, though. Usually I like to think about the offensive line and maybe they're playing badly, but I don't understand how that offensive line can play badly. Like, that offensive line is so good. Defensively, though, we have 112 tackles for Bradley English. Maybe that's enough for Defensive Rookie of the Year. He didn't do anything crazy. He already has superstar development, though, so it's not that big of a deal. But Chris Jones had 16 tackles for loss. Justin Houston had 14, both of those guys with over 10 sacks. Marcus Shay had 7 sacks, 12 tackles for loss. That's a good rookie season to have. 4 picks for Kenny Moore, 2 for Quincy Wilson. I don't know how he managed to get 2. Bradley English with 1. Darius Leonard and Sean Sermons each got 1 as well. We have no touchdowns or safeties, but we do have 1 blocked kick. We have a couple forced fumbles as well. 3 of those were recovered. Actually, that's all of them. Okay, so 100% fumble recovery rate. I like to see that. 8th in the NFL in offense. Defense looked pretty good again. 13th. Okay, so somehow both of those are worse, but the record is better. Russell Wilson wins MVP. Jacoby Brissett at number 6. AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Tyrod Taylor. Okay, Jacoby Brissett at number 2. All right, man. Defensive Player of the Year is Miles Jack. Anybody from the Colts? Yeah, we have Chris Jones at number 7. Not bad. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Bruce Gregory, that quarterback. He's up to a 78. Calvin Daniel at number 3. Defensive Rookie of the Year does go to Bradley English, but Marcus Shay and Sean Sermons are at number 2 and number 3. Let's see the development of this receiver before we advance by this game against the Chiefs. This receiver has superstar development. Okay. So he's definitely a good receiver. He was worth the draft pick, I think. His overall still isn't crazy good. Oh, his deep route running is so bad. I think I'm just going to go into route runner here. He's a 66 overall in that category. He's not going to go up in overall, but it should make him better. Awareness by 2, deep route running, medium route running. Okay, not too bad. Hopefully he can get into the 80s at some point in his career here with us. But let's see what the Chiefs overall is. We definitely have a higher overall team. Yeah, we're an 88, they're an 82. I mean, come on. We have such a better team, but please let us win this game. They do have Patrick Mahomes, though, so you really can't ever count them out when they have a 99 overall quarterback. Yeah, we lose that game. That's unfair, but we do have Boston Scott on the practice squad, so that's a win. The Ravens and the Falcons are in Super Bowl 55. Let's advance by here, see who wins the game. I think the Ravens are going to win, and they do not. 38-24. They lose that game. But Jacoby Brissett's probably up to superstar at this point. And he is. He's a 79 overall. He's about to be an 80 overall, actually. Daniel's still going to be the number 2 receiver. Yeah, I can't have him as the number 3. I think he'll be fine there next season. Defensively, anyone go up in development trait? I don't think so, actually. But T.Y. Hilton 100% deserves this contract. I may even go 1 more season. I don't know if I'll make it 2. But I do want to bring him back to the team. Let's bring him back for 3 more years, just in case I want to go 2 more seasons. He's actually just going to test out free agency. I'll franchise tag him. 19 mil is a lot, but I think he's worth it. That's fine. Justin Houston, I'm actually not going to bring back. He had a really good season, but I want to kind of gauge my options in free agency. Maybe we can get a better, defensive end there. Marlon Mack, I don't want. Anthony Costanzo, I don't want. Jacoby Brissett, I think I have to bring back to the team. I can't franchise tag him, so I have to make sure we get him. This is going to be a big contract, but he's worth it, I think. He's coming back to the team. Okay, I raised that a ton. I just needed to make sure I got him back on the team. I'm good with that. We should still have a decent bit of money to dip into free agency and sign some players. Yeah, we have $34 million. The Colts actually managed their cap really well. Ronnie Stanley is the top free agent. Yeah, he's on the team. Okay, we're just going to have the most ridiculous offensive line in the entire NFL. I'm going to try to bring him onto the team. Chris Godwin is here. Oh, this could be a really fun season. Okay, we're going to splurge. The only issue is that there's like no good running back, but maybe I can even trade for one. I don't really want to try Marlon Mack again. I'll give him a small contract, okay? If he accepts this, he accepts it. If he doesn't, I'll figure something out, but I'm probably going to have to trade for a different running back. This team has potential of going undefeated. I really think it does. If we can get Ronnie Stanley and Chris Godwin on the team, it 100% has potential to go undefeated. The only thing is that we do need another edge rusher. Let me check out the draft to see who's here. Maybe we can land someone, in the draft this year. Chris Godwin accepted. Ronnie Stanley accepted. Okay, Marlon Mack did not yet. I'm actually not too worried about him. Nyheim Hines could even be our starting running back. I've seen him in best running back before, so maybe he can do that for us here. Let me check out the defensive ends in this class, though. So Willis went up in development. I didn't even realize that. I don't know how I always miss someone. But, yeah, he went up in development from the Super Bowl week, right? Yeah, he just has star development now. Okay, that's fine. I was considering replacing him, but maybe we can keep him on the team for this next season. He's definitely not bad. I also just noticed that we got Marlon Mack on the team. I gave him, like, no money. Okay, he might be our running back for this next season, but I actually might use him as trade bait as well. This is another draft class that looks extremely loaded. I don't know what is going on with this rebuild. I've just been getting really good draft classes. Let me see when I have to trade up to in order to get the players I want, though. Because I do want this one outside linebacker, right? He's probably the most important player to me right now. It's Evan Charles, a mid-first round projection. So I don't have to trade up too high. I can probably trade up to like pick number 5 or something to make sure I get him. I may actually just go up to pick number 1 just to ensure it. But let me see who I can even trade up with, honestly. Like, I don't know how much value I have. It is way too easy to trade up in drafts, man. I miss fantasy style rebuilds to no end. They're so fun. Let's see if we can get this first round pick. The first overall pick, I mean. And we got that. Okay. I'm just going to take the player I want the most. because there's no reason to take anybody else at this point, I don't think. There are a couple of good cornerbacks. There's a really good looking tight end. Some good defensive tackles as well. I'm thinking that these defensive tackles might actually be like a better fit. Oh, look at this. He moved down to the 3rd round. Are you kidding me? I'm taking that guy at some point then. But anyway, let me go with Evan Charles. Early 1st round talent, mid 1st round projection. He's going to be a really good player. He's a 77 with hidden. Took him at number 1, of course, but he's ranked number 8. 77 overall speed rusher. Not the best block shed, but 84 finesse moves is really good. Good speed, good acceleration. Yeah, he can move down to defensive end really easily for us. I'm just going to sim to pick number 24 now. I don't really want to bother trading up for anyone else. This draft class, though, looks so talented. Okay, so who's left on my board? I guess I'll just sort it by this way. There are just so many incredible looking players in this class. This guy I don't even want on the team. He does look really good though. As a Ayan Nielsen, I'm going to take him off the draft board. Honestly, I'm just going to take these next 3 players with my next 3 picks if I can. Early 3rd round projection, late 3rd round projection. I could probably get Rashad Stackhouse in the 2nd round then. Let's just go with these 2 guards. I don't think any of these players are going to start, but they all look so good. Let's start out here with Taylor Berg out of Penn State. 77 with hidden. He was supposed to go in the 3rd round, and we got him at the late 1st. We have another draft pick very shortly after this one. We're going to go with that other guard who's probably in the 70s. This team's depth is going to be insane. So Chase McGee is on the team. He's a 77 with hidden. What a stupid draft, man. I mean that in the best way possible. It's just insane how many good players there are later. There's those 2 guys, and now this defensive tackle, I hope he's available. He should still be here, and he is still here. Okay, Rashad Stackhouse, welcome to the team. 77 as well, but he has normal development. That guy is so good, man. He has 79 speed. He probably could rush off the edge for us. He won't, but we have another good defensive tackle on the team now. This will probably be the last pick I take, if there's even anybody left on my draft board. If not, I'll just simulate this one. I have one more player. It's Brandon Jones. Welcome to the team. 67 overall with normal. It's actually a really solid draft pick. He's a pretty good size for a safety. 6'4". Not the fastest, but pretty good acceleration. Not bad on like special teams and stuff like that. Let's just advance to the end of the draft now. We don't even have any more picks remaining, but I still think I played that draft super well. In this draft, I was able to get 4 77 overall players, which is really solid, and then a 67. That's a really good draft, actually. Hopefully these development traits are special. But who was the best player in the entire class? It was a 79 overall right tackle. Yeah, this offensive lineman draft looked really solid. I almost was going to take this guy, but we were able to land Ronnie Stanley in free agency, so I no longer needed a tackle. He actually only has normal development, though, which is interesting, but he's a really solid run blocker. Really nice looking offensive lineman. Jamichael Carswell is one of those defensive tackles, and he too has normal development. Okay, another right tackle. He has hidden. Benji Bozeman. What a great name. And then all these 77s, we got a lot of them though, which is pretty cool. But anyway, that was a really good draft. I think both of these drafts went extremely well so far. This will probably be the final season. If this team doesn't make the playoffs, I'm going to be pissed off, man. I'm going to do something. I don't know exactly what it'll be yet, but come on, this team is so good. They have to make the playoffs. Okay, it took a little while, but I finally found a running back I could trade for. I had to cut a couple players from the team, but it's okay. I'm giving the Vikings Snowden and Stackhouse, the quarterback we drafted last year and the defensive tackle we just drafted, along with our first round draft pick, for Dalvin Cook. I'm going to try to make this team as good as it can possibly be for this final season. I think that's actually the only trade I'm going to make. Marlon Mack will stay on the team, I guess, and be a backup. We have really good running backs now, because we have Dalvin Cook, Marlon Mack, and Nyheim Hines. Whatever, not that big of a deal. I could have traded these, backup offensive linemen, but I'm actually kind of chilling with them on the team as backups. I just want to see what their development traits are, and I feel like I'll forget if I end up trading them. It's all good, though. But anyway, this is going to be the team. This team is looking incredible, though, for this final season. 90 overall, 93 offense, 87 defense. Our scheme fit percentage is terrible. Let's see if we can get better than a 54%. I'm just going to go with a 66% then, I guess. I mean, that's better than before. Anyway, though, this is the offense. It is so good, man. Jacoby Brissett is balling out this rebuild. He does all the time. We have Chris Godwin now on the team. Ronnie Stanley joins the team. This team is kind of Super Bowl or bust this season, to be honest. I don't really have all that much money after this season anyways. I'm kind of going all out. This will probably be the final season regardless. Here's a look at the defense. Chris Jones is up to a 94. This middle linebacker's up to an 85. He's going to progress even more. Sermon's our superstar cornerback, up to an 84. We moved Charles down to defensive end, where he's a 78 overall. He should be fine down there. I'm excited for this team for this final season. Hopefully they can play well. Okay, so we got a first round bye this season, but the undefeated dream is dead. We lost in week 17. 11-5 though, really solid record. 10-6 for the Jags and the Texans, 8-8 for the Titans. Jacoby Brissett, probably MVP. Actually, not that good of a season. This is very uncharacteristic of Jacoby Brissett in Madden. Over 4,000 yards, that's usual, but only 23 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Not that great of a season. I'm sure Dalvin Cook carried this offense then. Okay, he didn't either. This is a really weird season. 980 yards, 13 touchdowns. I mean, that's a good year for him. But what happened to this year? T.Y. Hilton had another solid year. 86 catches, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. These guys also almost had 1,000 yards. Chris Godwin, Eric Ebron. Not that many touchdowns going around, but to be fair, Jacoby Brissett didn't throw many. The offensive line blocked really well. Okay, maybe the defense just carried us. 123 tackles here from Bradley English. We have 13 tackles for loss for Evan Charles, 12 for Matthew Ioannidis, 11 for Darius Leonard. We have 13 sacks for Chris Jones, 8 for Ioannidis, and 8 for Shay. 3 picks for Sermons, Willis, and Eosin, 2 for Bradley English and Malik Hooker, 1 for Jason Burge, don't know who that is, Darius Leonard, Bobby Okereke, and Brandon Jones. We had 2 defensive touchdowns, and we also had 2 safeties, so that's interesting. Only 1 forced fumble, recovered by Eosin. That's pretty cool. 7th in the NFL on offense. I don't know how that's 7th. We didn't even have all that many yards, but okay. And then 12th on defense. Really strange looking year, but it's alright. Ezekiel Elliott wins MVP. Nobody from the Colts up there. Alright, AFC Offensive Player of the Year is Deshaun Watson. Somehow Jacoby Brissett makes it. I don't really think he should. He really didn't have that good of a season. Defensive Player of the Year is Ryan Shazier. Nobody from the Colts. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Hudson Thurston. Okay, nobody from the Colts there. Defensive Rookie of the Year is Evan Charles. Okay, hopefully he has a cool development trait. Brandon Jones at number 8. Best quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. No Jacoby Brissett on this list. Best running back is Nick Chubb. Dalvin Cook, though, at number 5. Best wide receiver is Adam Humphries. That, like, usually happens, which is pretty funny. Nobody from the Colts, really, but Zack Pascale makes it at number 6 on the Bills. Travis Fulgham is also number 2. What a strange list. I swear, receiver gets so weird every single season. Quentin Nelson and Ronnie Stanley are the number 1 and number 2 O-linemen in the AFC. Shaq Mason is number 4. Braden Smith, Ryan Kelly at 6 and 7. We have the entire offensive line there. Best defensive lineman is Myles Garrett, but Chris Jones at number 4. Best linebacker is Von Miller. We do not have our middle linebacker. It's all good, though. Best defensive back is Bradley Roby. But we do have Eosin and Sean Sermons. Not too bad. Best kicker is Randy Bullock, but Michael Badgley at number 3. The free agent kicker we ended up signing. Alright, so we have a first round bye this year, which is pretty cool. So let's sim by, and then I'll spend my coach experience. Yeah, so this is definitely one of the best teams I have ever built. It's a 93. 95 offense, 91 defense. This team should not lose, but they probably will still find a way to do so. But the team is just looking so impressive. Hopefully we can just advance by this week and end up winning. Charles only has star development, kind of disappointing, but it's okay. He's still an 82 overall, which is definitely not bad for his rookie season. Let's see what the Ravens overall is. They're a really good team in simulation, though, so I don't fully expect to win this game. LaMichael Patrick has X Factor. That's cool. I don't remember exactly which draft he was in, but I remember him being one of the better corners in his draft. But they're an 84 overall. I mean, come on. They're in a completely different tier than we are. Please let us win this game. I don't want to hop in just yet. We actually lose that game? Are you kidding me? So this God Squad goes down in the first round of the playoffs that they're in. I think both years, right? I'm pretty sure we lost in the wild card last year. That's so frustrating, but let's go to the Super Bowl. I will sim by it and then probably end the video. I don't really think I have any money to keep going here, so I'm not going to bother. I don't think I'll ever really reload this one either because of that money situation. But let's advance by here. The Panthers and the Jags are in the Super Bowl. Pretty interesting Super Bowl. The Panthers are usually pretty good in simulation, though. So are the Jags, to be fair. The Jaguars are going to win 35-21, but let's briefly go over potential development trade upgrades. I don't think we're going to have any on offense. And we don't. I don't really think anyone deserved to go up in development on offense, but look at this left side of the offensive line. 99 overall for Quentin Nelson, 97 overall for Ronnie Stanley. Just insane. And then defensively, I don't think anyone went up in development, but I'm pretty sure I missed Willis earlier, so I could have totally just missed somebody right now. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.